Hello. You're watching or listening to WHUS Stores in Stores, Connecticut, and I'm here today with Owen Ashworth of Advanced Base. And yeah, are you calling like from Chicago right
Yeah,
now,
I
or like
live in Oak Park, which is just
not
outside of Chicago. Yeah.
awesome? Yeah, so we'll jump like right into it. So like it's been like more than like 10 years like since you started like Orendal and like this project. So you're like very familiar like with like putting out records for like you and as well as like other people. So like how
Mhm.
has like this like release cycle for horrible occurrences like been like in comparison to like, your previous ones?
Well, Horrible Occurrences is being released with Run for Cover, who also released Animal Companionship 6 years ago, and in between, I've released a few Advanced Space records just on my own label, Arundel, and with Run for Cover, it's a little more. I don't know. They're like a bigger label, and they kind of do things on like a bigger scale. So it's been more organized. Usually, I prefer to do like kind of more closer to surprise release for stuff of my own because it's I don't know. It can be expensive and just it's months of preparation for like a release schedule like we have for Horrible Occurrences, where Run for Cover is just beholden to their distributors' schedule, so the record needs to be done further in advance. So I don't know. It's definitely a more involved project. I'm very happy that we're so close to the actual release date now. Yeah, the record. Yeah, by the time this airs, it'll be the week of the release date. So it
Yeah,
was like a long time coming, and there's been a lot of talking about the record, um, which is good and bad. I get really tired of hearing myself talk, but I've had some really nice conversations with people who are excited to hear, interested in the album, and that always feels really nice. And I, have to remind myself that this is a pretty small window where um, these kind of interviews happen, and um, I don't know, they're valuable conversations to have, and it's also my chance to say what I need to say about the album while people are interested. So
yeah. I'm like very glad that that you like sent like that story like talking about like how you were like open to like interviews because I've always like looked forward to like having this conversation. Yeah, I'm like
I
a fan.
appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. This record's been a long time coming, and there have been a few requests for interviews in the past few years. So I was like, well, I don't really have anything to promote right now, so let's wait until there's actually a record. So there's actually a record now. So it's a good excuse to talk to people who are interested. I appreciate your interest.
Yeah, awesome. So like a defining like characteristic of like a like this like band was that you've always like had to balance it out like with your domestic life. So do you like think that that like this like limitation like has changed your like uh productivity is like a bad word, but like your like ability to like put stuff out in the rate that you would
Oh
want
yeah,
to?
definitely slowed down. Yeah. Yeah, I
uh,
mean, music is an important part of my life, and it's a very kind of personal practice. I just, I really enjoy, I enjoy writing songs. I enjoy playing the songs I write. I really love touring and playing shows, but I guess the professional part of it, or the more public part of it, has become a lower priority as I've gotten older, and I've got kids, and I'm trying to be home and hanging out with my kids and my wife as much as I can. Um, So what the time I'm willing to dedicate to kind of bringing my music to other people is that window is smaller than it used to be. Um, but it doesn't mean the music feels less important to me. It's just sort of like the public part of the music. I feel like I'm more divided in my time than I was when I was younger and just had less going on.
Awesome. This is like your first like true uh like a concept record, I would say, right? Whereas your previous like have been like more had like interconnected like storylines and like characters. Like
Yeah,
this is the first time where you've like anchored like everything in like one like common uh like guiding like concept with like the fictional like town of Richmond.
yeah.
So would you say that like this was like a conscious effort, or was it like a slow build up, or like you were like writing songs and be like, I can like make these like connected?
Yeah, well, I think most of my records have had, at least the way I write is usually I have common themes or I'm kind of writing around, if not a story, then like just some basic themes or concepts or locations. So this one doesn't feel, I mean, Animal Companionship kind of had, the dog theme running through it. And the last Casio tone for the Pink Cologne album is called Versus Children. And that, I think that had more of like an intentional concept than I think anything else I've done, where there's like a story, there's stories about crime, and then it's like kind of a true crime record, and also a song about babies and starting families, and kind of, I don't know. It was there was a metaphor I was kind of working through with that record. So yeah, Horrible Occurrences didn't feel that different to me in just that I always kind of have a theme that I'm working through, but having the town of Richmond as kind of the central location for a lot of the record just made it kind of easy. I think makes it kind of easy to kind of visualize and give like just a sense of place to these songs, which I don't know. I think with every record, I feel like I'm kind of populating a little community with every song, where I'm imagining interrelation between characters and stories and things like that. So, in that sense, it's not so different than my previous records. But yeah, I think the Richmond hook. I hope it's interesting. I was doing a lot of teasing of the album with like photos from miniature museums and like model railroad towns. So just kind of the idea of building a location and like creating a little town was what I was kind of working towards with this one.
Okay, cool. I think I'll just like jump into the next one as well. Uh, uh, this record like still like employs like your usual like like ambiguous and like bittersweet songwriting method. And like I've always like appreciated like how like elegiac your songs like sound, like even when they're like dealing with like pretty like serious like emotional stuff. Like and like in this one like specifically like without the serial killings and the abusive relationships and like freak accidents, like it still like has like a very like nostalgic tone. Is there like any other like media, like whether it be like music or like films or like books that like you sort of like borrowed this
Oh yeah,
like connection with like
that's
recently or
interesting.
like before that?
Well, Raymond Carver's writing, I think, was pretty influential on when I started writing songs. I think had a lot to do with like informing my tone with like very kind of matter of fact accounting of kind of very emotional situations, but just kind of, I think, a certain amount of detachment to leave kind of the emotional space for the person receiving either the writing or the music. um I don't know, that really appealed to me. I think I'm influenced by a lot of uh, filmmakers. There's Aki Kaurismäki is a guy from Finland whose movies I really love, and they're very kind of it's very dry sense of humor, and there's just kind of this remove in a lot of his storytelling, this like detachment that I don't know. I find it to be very like effective. Like it makes me very emotional just to have kind of like a dry account of the situation. Trying to think of music. I don't know. Craft work is was music I really loved when I first started making music, and I think they're really funny. I think their music is there's like a sadness and a humor to it that like I find like really compelling. So those are all influences. I don't know. I mean, there's a ton. I mean, listen to a ton of country music, which I think informs a lot of my the way I write songs. Like I love Roger Miller and Chris Christopherson and George Jones. Um, uh, John Prine is a big influence on me. Who I don't know. I've never really been attracted to really like histrionic like big singers who are like you know who pour a lot of emotion in the performances. I have an appreciation for that, but it's not really the kind of stuff I'm drawn to as much. It's just like I don't know. I guess a little bit of detachment has always been kind of there in my music. I know what you mean, and I don't know. I think I'm just kind of a reserved person, so I think that's just my personality too.
Right, that's awesome. Yeah, I like the John Prine like shout out. Like I do think that like even though like I don't like write like folk like slash like country music, like it still like has like those like elements of like realist like matter of factly and like
Mhm.
sort of like tone.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's yeah. And
he's one of
Carver
my
as well.
favorites.
Yeah. Awesome. So this one's like a little like it's like very open and like so like is there like anything like in your like synth like rig that you were like excited to like try out for Herbal Occurrences, or like were you mostly just like
Oh,
doing like other stuff?
well, the big addition on this record is about a Moog Opus 3, which I played with on just one song on Animal Companionship, but it just definitely was kind of a musical theme on this record. I don't know. I feel like I use synthesizers as kind of like guest stars in a funny way. Like on Animal Companionship, there is a little bit of Casio on the record, and I kind of intended the Casio to be kind of more directly like the voice of the dogs. So on the songs that talk about dogs, those are the ones that have some Casio in them. And I don't know. Peter and the Wolf. Did you grow up with listening to
Yeah.
that record? Just I think that really got under my skin, and I like the idea of a certain instrument having a certain place in the narrative. So yeah, the Opus 3, the Moog on this record, I kind of use it like horror movie music. Like there are really tense moments on the record, or where
Right.
there's like some apprehension or some danger. That's kind of
Hmm.
where you hear the, the Opus 3.
Like John Carpenter like type.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, John Carpenter played DX7, which I do not have a DX7, but his music I thought about a lot. Yeah, there's some really kind of, I don't know, some pretty direct references to John Carpenter on the album. I was thinking about
Yeah,
Halloween and The Fog in particular in some of these songs.
that's awesome. Okay, so like here's like my last one, and like it's kind of like it's like a pretty like weirdly long question, but so like your like exploits and like arts like don't like aren't like exclusive to music. Like you do like all the merch for like for event space. And, like you also like have your portrait series with
Uh-huh.
like the movie stars like
Yeah.
portraits and like
Uh-huh.
the Cheers like zine which I own and like
Oh, cool. Right on.
Gentleman. So like how do you think like your interest in portraiture is like it comes from like a similar place as to like when you like write music? Like do you think that like you consider like those like earnest like ideas in like both like mediums? Like do you think that like those are like connected somehow?
Yeah, I mean, just a general interest in people for sure, and just yeah, I mean, the songs are kind of portraits of fictional characters, um, but yeah, I'm a big fan of movies and actors, and I just think faces are just so fascinating. So yeah, I really enjoy drawing, and it feels really low stakes, and it's really just for my own amusement and kind of like relaxation and fun. Like I feel like drawing has remained special to me because I have not really tried to modify it or turn it into a career.
Right.
Music, I feel like there's a lot more anxiety, and I have a more complicated relationship with music since I have made my living through my songs for a long time. But I think drawing, I get a similar kind of at the base of what I love about music is like there's something really kind of meditative and relaxing and calming about it for me, which is I'm also kind of working through my own feelings through the songs, and drawing is like a lighter version of that where it's just like it's kind of like meditative, and it feels like something totally just for me, or it's a
Yeah.
nice it's I make drawings for friends, or they'll show up on merch or things like that sometimes, but it's just like such a personal practice. It's almost like cooking or something. It's just like
Right.
it's just part of my regular routine. That's just like I don't know, feels good.
Yeah. It's like
Nice to
less
have that outlet.
less transactional, I guess.
Absolutely,
So I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So like this is like all I have for you, but if you want to like plug our blood prices like any more or like any like tour dates that are coming like
Oh yeah.
I know they're hitting
Um.
like Texas and like Oklahoma, right? Soonish.
In December I'm going to be touring through Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee. In January I'm touring through Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. Um, and then I think there'll be some East Coast, New England dates, like end of April, early May.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of just like doing short regional tours where I'm just gone for a week or two, and I think I'll be doing like short tours through next year. And yeah, I think as you said that on Monday this is going to be shared.
Yes.
Okay, on Monday there's the last single from Horrible Occurrences, and it's coming out. It's called The Tooth Fairy, and there's a music video that's animated by Nathaniel Rubin. It's a really beautiful video. I'm excited for people to see it.
Awesome.
And then yeah, Friday, December 6th, the album comes out, and it'll be on streaming services and in record stores and things like that. Yeah, just very excited for people to hear the album.
Yeah. We'll we'll be playing like some songs like after this like on radio as well.
Great.
Uh, so yeah, it
Appreciate
was
it.
great talking to you
Yeah, thanks for your
and
questions.
yeah.